Welcome to One Chapter, One Thought. I'm Pastor Chris from Lincroft Bible Church in New Jersey, and every weekday I read one chapter of the Bible and offer one brief devotional thought. Today's reading is from the book of Ezekiel, chapter 39. Son of man, prophesy against Gog. Give him this message from the sovereign Lord. I am your enemy, O Gog, ruler of the nations of Meshach and Tubal. I will turn you around and drive you toward the mountains of Israel, bringing you from the distant north. I will knock the bow from your left hand and the arrows from your right hand, and I will leave you helpless. You and your army and your allies will all die on the mountains. I will feed you to the vultures and wild animals. You will fall in the open fields, for I have spoken, says the sovereign Lord. And I will rain down fire on Magog and on all your allies who live safely on the coasts. Then they will know that I am the Lord. In this way I will make known my holy name among my people of Israel. I will not let anyone bring shame on it, and the nations too will know that I am the Lord, the Holy One of Israel. That day of judgment will come, says the sovereign Lord. Everything will happen just as I have declared it. Then the people in the towns of Israel will go out and pick up your small, large shields, bows and arrows, javelins, spears, and they will use them for fuel. There will be enough to last them for 7 years. They won't need to cut down wood from the fields or forests, or these weapons will give them fuel for all that they need. They will plunder those who plan to plunder them, and they will rob those who plan to rob them, says the sovereign Lord. And I will make a vast graveyard for Gog and his hordes in the valley of the travelers, east of the Dead Sea. It will block the way of those who travel there, and they will change the name of the valley to the Valley of Gog's Hordes. It will take 7 months for the people of Israel to bury the bodies and cleanse the land. Everyone in Israel will help, for it will be a glorious victory for Israel when I demonstrate my glory on that day, says the sovereign Lord. After 7 months, teams of men will be appointed to search the land for skeletons to bury, so the land will be made clean again. Whenever bones are found, a marker will be set up, so the burial crews will take them to be buried in the Valley of Gog's Hordes. There will be a town there named Hamoah, which means horde, and so the land will finally be cleansed. And now, son of man, this is what the sovereign Lord says. Call all the birds and wild animals. Say to them, gather together for my great sacrificial feast. Come from far and near to the mountains of Israel, and there eat flesh, drink blood. Eat the flesh of mighty men, and drink the blood of princes, as though they were rams, lambs, goats, and bulls, all fattened animals from Bashan. Gorge yourselves with flesh until you are glutted. Drink blood until you are drunk. This is the sacrificial feast I have prepared for you. Feast at my banquet table. Feast on the horses and charioteers, on mighty men and valiant warriors of all kinds, says the sovereign Lord. In this way, I will demonstrate my glory to the nations. Everyone will see the punishment I have inflicted on them, and the power of my fist when I strike. From that time on, the people of Israel will know that I am the Lord their God. The nations will then know why Israel was sent away to exile. It was punishment for sin, for they were unfaithful to their God. Therefore I turned away from them and let their enemies destroy them. I turned my face away and punished them because of their defilement and their sins. So now this is what the sovereign Lord says. I will end the captivity of my people. I will have mercy on all Israel, for I jealously guard my holy reputation. They will accept responsibility for their past shame and unfaithfulness after they come home to live in peace in their own land, with no one to bother them. When I bring them home from the land of their enemies, I will display my holiness among them for all the nations to see. Then my people will know that I am the Lord their God, because I sent them away to exile and brought them home again. I will leave none of my people behind. I will never again turn my face from them, for I will pour out my spirit upon the people of Israel. I, the sovereign Lord, have spoken. One thought. Ezekiel continues his prophecy against the mysterious Gog who will attack God's people. But God will completely destroy Gog and vindicate his name and protect his people. Ezekiel 39 is an especially graphic chapter filled with apocalyptic imagery. In verses 17 through 20, Ezekiel is commanded to summon all the wild animals to a great feast. It's almost as you can imagine that there's this massive banquet table with all these dead bodies on the table, and these animals are walking up to the table, holding fork and knife, and eating and gorging on the dead flesh of God's enemy. Obviously, this language is not literal. Animals don't sit at banquet tables, but it's symbolic of the thorough defeat of God's enemies and the execution of God's justice. Now, when many Christians read this chapter, they wonder, when will these things be? Well, thankfully, we don't need to get caught up in speculative wonderings about it. Scripture is its best own interpreter, and Scripture interprets what this whole battle is actually about in Revelation chapter 20. At the very end of the Bible, the Apostle John gives us clarity on these chapters. It says this: "When the 1,000 years ended, Satan will be released from his prison and will come out to deceive the nations that are at the four corners of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them for battle. Their numbers is like the sand of the sea. And they marched over the broad plain of the earth and summoned and surrounded the camp of the saints in the beloved city. But fire came down from heaven and consumed them. And the devil who had deceived them was thrown into the lake of fire and sulfur, where the beast and false prophet were. And they will be tormented day and night forever and ever." What we see is that Ezekiel 38 and 39 are being interpreted by John as referencing the final battle when Jesus returns. Jesus will come back and deliver his people from his enemies. Now, Ezekiel's vision is much more mysterious and geographically limited, right? There's all these references to the land of Israel and all these nations that were surrounding Israel at that time. But that's because he was a Hebrew prophet. That's all he knew. And John's vision instead expands the conflict to encompass the whole globe. This expansion occurs because in Ezekiel's day, God's people were largely concentrated within the people of Israel. There was a small remnant of believers within the larger Jewish people. But with the coming of Christ, this believing remnant now expands significantly to encompass the whole world, because the gospel is going forth and the Gentiles are now being added to God's people. But even in John's vision, let's not lose the main point. We see that God is completely in control, and at just the right time, he will deliver his people. So we need not fear when the forces of darkness are arrayed against us, because our God will deliver us.